All right, so let's wrap this up with the biggest winner. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to talk about biggest winner and then biggest loser because there's only two candidates on that stage tonight. But who do you guys believe was the biggest winner of this debate?
I think in this case, and this is not what I've been saying every time, I definitely said it was a tie in the last one. And I think the one before that I said that they'd roughly done as well, but Hillary will probably be seen to have done better. There's an initial early attempt in the media to try to spin it as that already. I think that he did better, partially because he got to run almost the first hour on exactly the issues that he wants to, the issues that people want to hear about. People think it's kind of silly, like a couple of people that we know think it's silly that he talks about a political revolution, but we've seen the polls recently. That's what people want, and not just crazy young 18 to 22-year-old liberals want that. And he talks about it, and he makes clear that he understands the way that the economy is rigged, income inequality, campaign finance, realizes that they're problems and understands what needs to be done to fix them, which is so many steps past where Clinton can even acknowledge that they're problems. And he got to do that for about an hour. The second hour was more mixed, partially because of things she did, partially because of things that he did. But I think that he is going to be the winner because he has more to gain, I think.
He does have more to gain. That's a good point.
Oh, really fast. And also, they were all trying to pivot questions into African-American, Hispanic Americans because they're worried about the next two primaries and all that. I think that he did a better job of that. And she's going to try to paint him as being not sufficiently pure on caring about fixing the criminal justice system, which I think is ridiculous, since Black Lives Matter voted his policies as filling more of the spots of their campaign zero than hers were. And I think that he did a good job if that was one of his objectives, and I think it was.
So it's difficult to pick the biggest winner because, look, when you have one candidate who has policies that resonate with you, you want to make sure that you kind of discount that and just focus solely on performance because that's what's going to speak to the low information voters. They're not necessarily going to be up to date on every single issue. They're going to be kind of judging based on the way they carry themselves, the way that they carry out their messaging. But there was only one candidate tonight that got booed, and that was Hillary. So I do want to go to that video.
Senator Sanders has said he wants to run a positive campaign. I've tried to keep my disagreements over issues as it should be. But time and time again, by innuendo, by insinuation, there is this attack that he is putting forth, which really comes down to, anybody who ever took donations or speaking fees from any interest group has to be bought. And I just absolutely reject that, Senator. And I really don't think these kinds of attacks by insinuation are worthy of you. And enough is enough. If you've got something to say, say it directly. But you will not find that I ever changed a view or a vote because of any donation that I ever received. And I have stood up and I have represented my constituents to the best of my ability, and I'm very proud of that. So I think it's time to end the very artful smear that you and your campaign have been carrying out in recent weeks. And let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about the issues that divide us.
Okay, let's talk
we
about
both
issues.
agree with campaign finance reform.
Let's talk about issues.
I worked hard for McCain-Feingold. I want to reverse Citizens United.
Let's talk about issues.
Let's talk about issues.
Let's talk about issues.
That was a long boo.
Wow.
That was a long boo.
So I don't know. I'll just say, she's obviously not helping her case there. What she's doing exactly what I just said she's doing. She's saying that I don't think it's wrong to take money from corporations and Wall Street. That's how we finance shit around here, and there's nothing wrong with that. What? How progressive is that? So, again, we're still on the. Can I just get back to my big winner? I didn't get a chance. I think my big winner is progressivism, right? So now everybody's like, what the fuck is progressivism? Maybe people, and why socialism doesn't, the tag of socialism doesn't work as well as it used to before is because everyone has one of these in their hand and they can Google what socialism is. And they go, oh, it's Medicare, it's Social Security, it's the snowplow in front of my house, it's the mailman, it's the library, it's public schools. I like socialism. So it's the same thing with that. I don't think it's going to hurt them because people can Google it.
Yeah, I think that in the town hall from the night before and in this debate, she really hurt herself when talking about campaign finance.
How does she not hurt herself?
Like she hurt herself when she had a very, flippant response to how much she got paid by Wall Street to give these speeches. And then tonight, this whole notion that, hey, this is the way the system works. And I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it after I get elected. But for her, it seems like an afterthought. It doesn't seem like her priority.
Yeah.
And that really came through in that answer she gave, which led to the move.
It comes down to, do you believe the system is broken? You vote for Bernie. Do you believe the system isn't and everything will work out somehow? Vote for Hillary.
Yeah.
The system is obviously broken. Even under a black guy as our first black president, he still has done dick. As far as the income inequality has grown, Wall Street banks have gotten bigger. We're spending more on the military. We're spending less on infrastructure. We're doing horrible things. We're doing as if we had a Republican. Yeah. We instituted a Republican health care plan. So no, the system is broken. When you can take what people consider to be a socialist, communist, and have them act exactly like a right-wing a center-right Republican, the system is broken, and that's the power of money in politics. And Hillary Clinton just revealed here she doesn't think that it's a problem. She only thinks like maybe Citizens United is a problem. No, we need public financing of campaigns and all the trillions of dollars that would save America. And she won't say it. She's not for public financing of campaigns. Am I wrong about that? She says it's not a problem. All right, Johnny, go ahead. I'm sorry. And you can disagree with me. I'll give you permission.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the idea that, I've received all this money, but you're smearing me over it. Like, is it even worth getting the millions at this point if I'm going to be insulted? And when you're defending receiving all that money and saying you're implying that I've been influenced when it should be abundantly clear to everyone watching that, of course, you would be influenced, defending yourself in that way does not make a ton of sense, I don't think. And I think that it's fairly see-through. And the larger point that she was trying to make was, you're implying that if somebody receives these speaking fees or receives millions of dollars in campaign contributions, then they've been bought. And that's right. They have been bought. All of them. Obama, Republicans, Democrats, they have been bought. And very briefly, imagine a system where 100 years from now, we've gotten past this. And we have full public financing. There's no huge donations. There's no big speaking fees. There's none of that. And then you read... 100 years ago, they used to get $20, $30, $40 million in the first few months of an election by big corporations and rich people. You'd think, what the fuck? They were allowed to do that? But there are politicians. They got millions of dollars. It wouldn't make sense to anyone. The only reason it makes sense to her is because she is swimming in it right now. She just dove into that big pile of gold coins, and that's all she can see now.